Well, today I'm out in the shop working on lids. So the system that I run, the Hive system I run, has these ventilated lids. I really like them, but they've got issues. So I'm trying to work through some of them. So they're plywood like most lids are, but what I like about them, they've got a rim around them so they don't warp, they sit flat. But plywood absorbs water through it. You can paint them all you want to. They're in the beaten down sun, and eventually the veneer peels and the water starts getting in them, and I have some that are in horrible shape because of that. The other issue with these is they were screwed on. The other types of lids have either a lip or they're a telescopic that goes down all the way around. The ones that go down all the way around don't work when you're squeezing them tight together on pallets. I thought about just adding a board to these on the front and back, but they still don't hold very well. So the problem with the screws is, number one, you're screwing into the top of your box, so you're beating it up. They don't always hit right, so they split your box out. In order to get into the top box to do an inspection, you got to remember your screw gun. There's lots of issues about it that's not good. Now I'm getting ready to send colonies to California, so somebody else is going to be working them. He wants in the top box. He doesn't need to go try to find a screw gun and unscrew them, then make sure he gets them screwed down. And when you unscrew them, the screw sticks up, so it's in the way, so they get bent. So at one point in my beekeeping career, I made these little clips. Some of you will remember those. And so two screws go on the top of the box here. They were meant for holding a bottom board to box and boxes together, and that was great, except they were on the side and you can't butt them together on a pallet. So as I grew, they came off, but I think they're going to work great here. So I'm screwing them on, and I've got a bunch out here that I've done. And so this wire clip will be on these, on the lids, and then there'll be another screw on the front of the top box so they can clip on, and I'll get out and show you that in a minute. Another idea I've had, and I started the project, this is white poly sheets, and I'm getting them at Lowe's. They used to be about 20 bucks. I think they're 23 or something now, but I bought a cheap brake at Harbor Freight so I can bend them, and if I bend them and heat it, I can make an actual plastic lid over the top. Now that plywood isn't going to get wet. So this takes a little more time to do, and I'll do a video on what I'm doing, the process of it. But you know, by the time you put a couple of coats of paint on the darn things and move them while they dry and screw around, it isn't a whole lot more time. And this should keep, you know, even those edges of the plywood from getting any water on them. And with the vents, you're still going to vent your moisture out, so you're not going to get excessive moisture coming in underneath and locking in and creating a problem. So anyway, I'm going to do up a few more of these, and then I'll get out to the bee yard and put a few of them on. So we've got a pretty decent day here. Hoping it'd warm up just a little more, but we'll take what we can get. At least the sun's shining. So I've got a jig that I use for both marking the holes on the lid for a box and for marking it on the box. So here I only need the one in the center. I just use my screw gun to mark it. I have to have a pencil too. Go around and do the other side. So this was made long enough to do the side boxes and put them on the side. So I had to put some extra marks on it here so I can line it up on doing the ends of the box. But it's got, you know, all three holes that it needs for a jig. And I've got the same screws that I attached to the wire clip on the boxes, and I'll screw those in part way So there's enough lip left out here to get the wire around. Just because I can't resist myself, take a look in here. There's some in the top box getting some feed. It wasn't a super strong colony, I don't believe, but they're up in there getting a little feed. There's the rest of them down there eating the pollen patties, going to town on it. Great. So with my systems, I've got a couple of carpets. So there's a propolis trap, which is handy. I take the plastic off in the summer, allows it to vent, but they can close it as they want to. And then I can put carpets in here right on top of them to help keep that warm, which I've shown in other videos, I'm pretty sure. And the lid we just fixed in the shop goes on here. The wire goes around that one and up over that one, and it holds that darn thing on pretty tight. Makes it a lot easier to line up your parts. There's tension on it, so when you scoot it where you want it, it stays there. I'm hoping that this will hold them on as they move them around with the forklifts and slide on them and stuff, but yet Rolando can pop this off and get in there real quick if he needs to. The feeder, as I don't know if you could see, but the feeder's in the bottom, and the way that this system of pallets works, there would be 4 on here, is that you come in and you tip this one up and then fill the feeder from here. And you don't need to get into the top box every time, but if you want to do inspections, it's handy to be able to have access. So anyway, I got a bunch more of these to do, see what we can get done.